Hello, thank you for your interest in my book, Great Power Competition and Order Building in the Indo-Pacific, which should be right here. The main subject of this book is how we can organize security in the Indo-Pacific, in our region, going forward. That comes as the United States, the primary security guarantor of this region, has decided that China is its enemy. China, on its part, has become more proactive in pursuing what it perceives as its national interest. More assertive, if you like. So what we're seeing is an intensifying great power competition here in this region. Of course, there are many books that have been written about great power competition, but there are very few books that propose a very concrete regional order. I propose a two-pillar structure for this regional order. And I wrestle with the question, how can we organize order, security order here specifically, in the future of the region, that respects China's legitimate right to grow, China's legitimate interest as a very consequential regional power, its legitimate interest in being impactful here in this region, commensurate with its size. But at the same time, in order that protects its neighbors, a legitimate security interests, territorial integrity, their sovereignty, of course. So my two-pillar proposal is constrainment and engagement. Constrainment, very different from containment, of course, and I discussed these differences in the book in quite a bit of depth. Constrainment is really, in simple terms, hard balancing of China's military adventurism, overreach, if you like, in terms of foreign and security policy. And that is really in the purview of the United States and its most capable allies and partners that are willing to go along with it here in this region. But that is not enough. That is not enough. Henry Kissinger once said, a pure military definition of a balance will inevitably fade into war at some point. And even short of this worst case scenario, even short of great power war, the second greatest risk is perhaps a modus vivendi, which is quite different from a modus operandi, also a question that I address in this book. A modus vivendi is, in other words, some sort of non-cooperative coexistence. Peaceful, yes, but non-cooperative. And there are two primary risks that are associated with this modus vivendi. That is, one, it will perhaps fade into conflict, so the specter of war is always present. And two, there is what I call the global agenda of the future, which is rather self-explanatory. Challenges that we will have to address in international relations going forward, that are by nature transboundary and inevitably require cooperation among all, in especially the great powers. So in order to establish that, I add a second pillar, which is called engagement. And this is really an institutional definition of a balance. Institutions, regional institutions, trade agreements, dialogue processes and so forth. And this is really the purview of ASEAN as an eternal ASEAN optimist. And I explain in quite a lot of detail in one of the chapters why I believe ASEAN is capable of doing it, and I propose how ASEAN should be doing it. So thank you very much for your interest in my book. Perhaps this little video, I hope, has either encouraged you to pick it up or to leave it shelved. Either way, I'm very happy that you're interested in it, and see you next time.